Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Mass roster updates happening around the world at the moment, especially though with Evil Geniuses, their contract jail locking down the progress in the North American side. But over the last couple of days, we've heard more rumours that deals and buyouts may potentially have been agreed. Ethan to NRG we saw a couple of days ago. Now we're looking at Jawgemo to the Guard. That is more likely than it was before. That means that deal may well be done, leaving Leaf in a potentially tricky position, but also meaning the door could be open to other buyouts being agreed elsewhere. Very much intrigued your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Loads to say. We've got to go through the South American region really first. We've got Crew Esports, Xedi, officially released by the roster yesterday. We also had a legendary player, right, Toxin here, and mainly because of this moment. Let's not forget when this defuse comes through, over 100 Thieves, that gives MIBR the victory. Over 100 Thieves, that gives Evil Geniuses the spot, allows them to get through to the playoffs. You know, they make it all the way to Masters, and then they, do really well in Masters and win the World Championship. And yes, sure, even if they hadn't made playoffs and they'd have to go through LCQ, they could well have still qualified through the LCQ and won the World Championship, but it seems far less likely given the, what they had to deal with in Tokyo, and obviously not making it all the way, but making it very close to all the way. The experiences they garnered from that, and of course, then moving that through to the World Championship. So yeah, without this moment, things could have been dramatically different. And yeah, Evil Geniuses definitely thank him for his services. Now, Owner, you guys probably know this guy, former Leviathan coach. There was some friction about this guy some while ago, actually. But the rumor is he's going to be joining Loud, which is, it's kind of funny, really, what's happening at Loud. They're going through everyone. They're cycling through so many guys right now. The belief was that there's some, I don't know if it's beef with Les, but Les seems to be, maybe not the easiest character to get along with, I don't know. There's been some concerns about this, and Aspas, of course, has decided to go, and the question is why? Was he not happy with Les? Possibly, yes, but we don't really know what else is going on there. But Owner apparently is now linked to be joining Loud as their new coach. So, we're pretty sure that Sadak is going to stay as the in-game leader, although that there was some rumors that maybe he could even step away to a coaching position at some point. And knowing Loud, and the way that these coaches are going in and out of that team over the last couple of years, maybe Owner steps out at some point and Sadak becomes the head coach in the next season or so. But yeah, that is a big rumor. And also, speaking of former Loud guy Fraud, he is now linked to MIBR as their assistant coach. So it seems like everyone that Les either doesn't want, or if like the ex-Loud guys just end up on MIBR. We know that Baka as well was over there, that he was on MIBR. So it's all going on really. But yeah, that's happening. We then get this. So Leviathan, a couple of guys over from Apex actually, such as Ito Pata here over from Apex now. Until now, the head coach of Apex is going over there to join Leviathan. So they're definitely trying to create a pretty stacked lineup over there, Leviathan, and I believe they should be really good. I mean, they were great last year. There was so much talk about this team. I remember at the lock-in event in Sao Paulo last year that these guys were just the best team in the world. They couldn't be stopped. And, okay, over time that regressed a little bit. But this season with Aspas, Tex, like the team they're building, they should be really good on paper here, especially compared to some of the competitors in that local region. As I mentioned in the pinned comment of yesterday's video, RRQ have confirmed their fifth man. Well, I'm not sure how many of their players they've confirmed yet, but we believe that this was the spot that was somewhat unknown, and Jemkin is joining as their final player, we believe, which is pretty cool stuff, hoping he does well. But of course, there was the drama over the last couple of days about Governor, this crazy rumour that Governor was going to join RRQ. Now, that doesn't seem to be happening, based on the Flynn spreadsheet we'll see in a second, and this Jemkin announcement, but there was noted that it might not be RRQ, but it might be another organisation out there in the Pacific. Especially when we get this. Now, Bo does an incredible job here. This is true investigative journalism at its finest, because he finds this tweet from Governor. Because Governor's over there in Korea, right? He's doing this month-long holiday in Korea. How convenient, you know, for his potential move to a Pacific team. And, we can see some of the food that he's been eating. Obviously looks absolutely spectacular. But this dish in the bottom right-hand side, just keep your eyes on this, because then in this image that was put out by Doohoon over at Talon Esports, is this not exactly the same? Or maybe this is just a coincidence. But it's interesting timing, though, that we have this guy and we have this appearing on Governor's social media. And then we have this picture, if you guys can, just about see it in the bottom side, that says, excited to start our Valo trial soon, coming from one, I think, CGO over at Talon Esports. So, yeah. there probably is something to that. Just because it's a trial doesn't mean it's anything special. But yeah, possibly Governor to Talon is now, or maybe even Detonation or something weird like that. That's kind of like the latest way the rumor is going on this, which is kind of crazy. So definitely stay tuned. Also yesterday, Heretics, they confirm their brand new roster. This is a really interesting team, and it's a team that has definitely a longer term vision. A lot of these guys are not going to be massive names, but they believe this is the next direction. Now, Benji Fishy is probably the biggest name, ex-Fortnite kid, very talented, we know full well. He played last season in Tier 2 on Enterprise Esports. He joined Heretics at the end of the season, did pretty well when he came in. Seems like a player that's, you know, was very respectable in Tier 2, but when he went up to Tier 1, he still kind of held his own. He's not probably going to be a massive star in terms of firepower, but he's going to hold his own, clearly talented enough to make it happen. And of course, a lot of people will want him to succeed. So yeah, hoping it goes well for him, but a lot of the firepower in theory is going to come elsewhere. Boo and Mini Boo, who I'm pretty sure are brothers. Mini Boo has been touted as a potential hot prospect. Rienza's been one of the biggest kind of names going around in Tier 2. And then Woot is considered to be a really high skill ceiling aimer. So, okay, it's not a team of massive names that they're bringing in here to Heretics, but it's definitely, apart from, as I say, Benji Fishy, but it's definitely a team that they believe, I think, has a long-term vision. I'm a bit confused why the video's now been deleted because, yeah, I don't know, the video doesn't no longer exist here, so I don't really know what to say about that. But they deleted the video, but the tweet still exists, so a little bit unclear. But yeah, I'm guessing they think that this team might need some patience, a bit of time, but over time, it can become a real force. So yeah, I'm not sure they're going to be making it to any of these international tournaments anytime soon, but give them a few months, they might be very competitive if this team trends in the direction that they're expecting it to. Let's talk then about the Flynn spreadsheet from yesterday. It was also noted that FNS is officially gone from NRG. We know that for sure, but the question is, who's the replacement going to be? Now, the rumor was, as of yesterday, or 2 days ago actually, that possibly they've got the deal done for Ethan, and we'll come back to that in a second. This is EMEA quickly. Hasn't been much change apart from, as you see here on Team Heretics, confirming what their roster is going to be. Everything else is pretty much as it was before. This is the Pacific as well. Well, actually, let's just do the Pacific first. We had HSK confirmed onto Gen.G as their head coach the other day. We also see some new rumors with regard to Talon. Even Boy, so we've got Tix and Boy linked over here to Talon. That's pretty interesting, right? Because Boy was briefly on 100 Thieves, right? You guys know about that a couple of years ago. So maybe him to Talon. As I say, we don't yet have here linked anything to do with Governor, but I'd stay tuned for that one. There might be something in it. Jemkin we know to RRQ, and that's the rest of the team that we believe is the case. So definitely possible that, you know, Governor goes there, but I don't know, maybe this is not true at all and Governor ain't going anywhere, but it's just a bit of a funny rumor. Now, Sanity, after the drama that we saw yesterday, is still linked as likely to Team Secret, which is pretty funny to me, to be honest. So if you guys didn't see yesterday, Sanity leaked on Facebook a scrim that they played when he was scrimming with Team Secret against Paper X. Paper X not happy about this. Probably he's going to get blacklisted from at least Paper X scrims, and other teams won't be happy with him leaking this stuff either, especially when compositions are on the line. So the theory was, well, Team Secret aren't going to bring him in if he's been doing this. It's not going to be good for both parties. And the theory was that he probably dropped that video because he was frustrated that Team Secret didn't choose him. But now he's still appearing it was likely. So maybe there's still something in that. We know that Bleed has been confirmed. But let's do the Americas, because NRG quickly, still the same as it was the other day. Demon 1, Stella, Ethan. The latest rumor was Ethan and then Narrate from James of F, but that hasn't been reflected yet, or, you know, what, Flynn doesn't think it's true, or he hasn't heard anything about that yet, which is fine. But given the fact that FNS is now officially gone and he's out of the database, they've got to do something good, you know what I mean? Like, they've got to live up to that expectation to some extent. How they achieve that. And also, Ethan, you know, was linked here as potential IGL, which is interesting. I don't know if this was the case before. Maybe I just missed this, to be fair. But now Stella or Ethan are linked as IGLs, which is, well, seems to show that Marved in this circumstance wouldn't be the IGL, and as I kind of predicted, if they are going to do this, it's probably going to be Ethan that decides to in-game lead. Evil Geniuses, though, they're holding everybody up, and there's no secret at this point. We still don't really know what they're up to, who they're going to keep, who they're going to sell, but they are playing hardball, I imagine, with these teams. They are potentially going to force a lot of those guys to take a pay cut. That's the belief. I saw a Richard Lewis video on this as well, and the number that was going around was they were getting paid 25k, and that was being cut in half. Richard Lewis says that they weren't getting paid 25k, 25,000 a month. It was less than 20,000. He didn't say the specific number, but let's say 16,000, I don't know, a month for these players. They're being forced to take roughly a 50% pay cut from that. And so I thought that was 25 down to 12 or so. It might be 16 down to like 8, something like that, which when you consider living expenses out there in LA, doesn't really get you that far. So, you know, and you're the world champions at the end of the day. Like, I think they deserve more respect than they've got from this organization, but that's evil geniuses, baby. So what are they going to do? Are they going to keep Demon 1? Are they going to hold him in jail even if he wants to go? Probably yes. Would they sell other players? Probably also yes. Com was linked to 100 Thieves. Boostio is definitely linked to 100 Thieves. And there's been no other IGL linked to 100 Thieves. That's the confusing part to me. Despite the fact that Boostio is considered unlikely, he was at a time considered very likely, but then it came out that EG had been just rejecting offers left, right, and centre to probably just try and bump those numbers up. So, yeah, I don't know. The fact that 100 Thieves have been linked to no one but Boostio makes me think that there's still a legitimate possibility that happens, especially when we see this on the G2 side, where Jawgemo has now increased in likelihood. It's been a big debate, really, as to whether it's going to be Jawgemo or Leaf in this final position. It was Tex, of course, alongside Jonah P, Trent Vallin net, Josh RT as the coach, but now Tex has gone to Leviathan, we think, so they need a fifth man. Jawgemo can duelist, he can operate as well, he can be the operator. Maybe it's not his favourite thing to do, he prefers to rifle, but he can do it very well, and yeah, Jawgemo, world champion, like, obviously deserves a lot of credit, but is one of the players on EG they would be probably more happy to part with than others. But you've got to think EG want to keep some of these guys. If they really want to lock down Demon 1, that'll be interesting. But let's say Ethan goes to NRG, and let's say Boostio goes to 100 Thieves, and let's say Jawgemo goes to G2, then EG aren't really left with much of a team, are they? So I don't know what their plan is. But the latest rumour is that G2 Jawgemo is more likely, which means that they're on the verge of, if not a buyout figure has pretty much been agreed there. G2, out of all these teams, have actually a lot of money to spend, and they're paying these guys big salaries on the G2 side, formerly of the Guard. So it's definitely plausible that Jawgemo could have been bought out by EG, and if they agree to one buyout, maybe they're going to agree to more buyouts, but they can't agree to too many, or they're going to have to rebuild their entire team from scratch that they probably don't want to do. So very much intrigued to your perspective on all this stuff in the comments section below. Just wanted to mention a pretty cool thing here. If you guys are COD fans as well as Valorant fans, I didn't want to mention this on the COD channel today. To be fair, I could have done, but I kind of didn't think about it. That Nato, so this is Saints Nato, Renato, kind of legendary COD player from back in the day, has actually joined Riot as a quality assurance engineer, just like I think your boy Dre did a little while ago as part of the game analysis team. So that's really cool stuff. Wishing the best for him going forwards, but very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.